Uzubillah minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Ameen. Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Uh, Allah honor give honor to the Prophet Muhammad and the family of Prophet Muhammad, true followers of Prophet Muhammad. And I like to extend that honor to the Prophet that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to us to free us from our sinful ways, to redeem us from our sinful ways and to redeem us from mental slavery and lead us back to Allah and this messenger, in the world Islamic Ummah. That is the whole goal of the Prophet Noble Islam's mission. And, a lot of our brothers and sisters in the Moore Science Temple of America, which is her corporate name, just cannot seem to understand that. They just cannot seem to understand that. They just, it's because of the leadership they have. The organization is ripe with agents. Okay. It just very, very, very strange that you have an organization that has a literature, right, that's packed with instructions on what we're supposed to be doing, and nobody's doing it because nobody's quote unquote is paying attention to the literature. There's no exploration of the literatures left by the Prophet Noah Drali alayhi wasallam. A literary prophet. Noah Drali is a literary prophet. You understand? His forte was literature. Okay, that this literature is a whole new field. This literature is psychologically based. This is a psycho-literary information platform, right? So it's a whole new field, and we should master it. This prophet that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to us, this particular Nabi was an information age Nabi, it's information. This is a technological age, hence the name of the Islamic organization in the West, the Islamic movement in the West, is Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. That's its corporate name. This is a Islamic scientific movement. The Moors or the Moorish were a Muslim people out of Africa, right? A Muslim people out of Africa. Everybody keep focusing on the Berbers, but the Moors, right, weren't only the Berbers. The Moors were people who are considered the Senegalese. If they were, because that's the region they came from, the Senegal region, the Marabouts, the Maraboutin and the Al-Makdis, these were also Islamic movements in West Africa who were considered Moors, Moors as well. They were Muslims, you understand, who took the Egyptian culture up into Spain, and created Al Andalus, Al Andalusia, right? All of this is a part of understanding the Moorish literature. The Moorish literature talks about these kind of things. This is our culture. This is our legacy. This is our historical world contribution, our historical legacy. And without our name, we would have known that. See, and what you got to get into it. You got to think. You got to think. You got to think, and because it's not going to add up. It's not going to add up. You got brothers who are brilliant, in genius, in fact, and they can't see it. They can't see it. But John Henry Clark, the African Central scholars, they knew it, but they really couldn't talk about it. They just skirted around it and stuff like that. Because a lot of them were Masons. They were bound by oaths and everything. They couldn't come out and tell you the truth about the prophet. The closest thing that they tell you was what John Henry Clark said about a people's name. A people's name instantaneously connects you to land, uh, land, culture, history, land, and culture. Right, a people's history, land, and culture. The name instantaneously connects you to that. Like Like, he talking about the national name. The national name, Moore, right? Moorish, right? When you go to Britannica Encyclopedia, push that in, you know, put in the Moore's contribution to the world and see what comes up. See, can't do that with any other name. Put Belial in there, see what comes up. Put Asiatic black man in there, see what comes up. Right? Put Negro in there, see what comes up. Go straight to slavery. Negro go straight to slavery. Right? Go straight to slavery. It won't go beyond 1492. See, won't go beyond 1492. Negro, as a matter of fact, began in 1492. It's a Spanish word. Degradation. You know, degradation, and was we talk a lot about the word Negro and the Negro leadership, right? How they just allow these people to run ramshot over them, especially in the culture and the music industry and everything. They cussing and talking trash in the music, right? There's homosexuality messes all over the place. And these media outlets and everything, they always showing in their advertisements, right? Makes Rick's race mixing. A sister with a Caucasian man or a brother with a Caucasian woman, you understand? These projections, these subliminal suggestions, projections, right, in the media, right? And just let and the people who's behind it. Look at the ethnic makeup of the people who are involved in the media, the Western media, predominantly. You know, who predominantly own and operate, are making decisions in Western media. You know, and these people are always saying about people don't like them because of their ethnicity. No, people don't dig them because of what they're doing politically. Slyly. They're slyless. They're a nefarious wiliness. See, I watched these people patiently, methodically take over this country. They take over the governing apparatuses, take over key power centers. You understand? In a modern society, which is the media, right? Which is the finance and political, military power centers. You know, this is what they took over. They call it a soft coup. I watched these folks do this to this country, right? To our country, right? And then you got people who are really qualified dealing with these folks. They're not dealing with these folks. They mess with us. You know, they mess with us. But these folks really play on these people's sickness. That's what it is. Because racism follow the rules of mental disorder. It's a mental disorder. You know, iblicitis. That's what I call it. It's my term. Yes, the iblicitis, because Iblis Irajim was the first case of mental retardation. The first case of mental disorder was Iblis Irajim. Racism. He was the first racist, right? Iblis Irajim, who became Shaitan Irajim. He had a mental disorder. He created evil in his own mind. You understand? He had an imbalance, right? Shaitan, Iblis, Shaitan slash Iblis, Shaitan dash Iblis. You understand? He was mentally deranged. Racists are mentally deranged. You understand? To hate people because they're different. To hate people because they're another race or so forth and on. You know. Well, their hatred and fear of us it has a rational basis, because the genetic dominance of the melanated gene, right? But that sort of thing. But there should be laws and philosophies and ideologies and stuff in place besides hate to to address that. those concerns, right? But far like hating somebody, resorting to these these primitive remedies to dealing with our problems down here on earth is just going to lead to bloodshed, bloodshed and destruction. And when we create programs and policies and philosophies that lead to bloodshed and destruction, that then we're primitives. We're not evolving. We're not spiraling upward. Us and our civilization, us and our view of life in this world and everything. These folks are primitive. It's a primitive folks. In spite of the fact of the march of time, in spite of the fact that some of them may be brilliant and be at the forefront of technological innovation and so forth and on. But if they use these technologies, you understand, to create hatred, slander, theft, murders, looters, and everything that harms, i.e., destruction of human beings and the planet. Then these are primitive folks, and they disqualify themselves to lead this world, right? And it has to be removed. We might as well face it. We have to fight these people. Those of us who thirst for righteousness, those of us who want to obey God and create God's kingdom down here on earth, we have to fight these people. We have to get them out of power, right? There's a lot of ways you can fight them, and we need that divine military, in every dimension of defense initiative, because that's what it is, a defense initiative. It's not a war. We can't declare war on nobody. The Muslims, the worshippers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can't declare war on nobody. We take a defensive posture, because we don't aggress. We don't aggress. Then some instances, sometimes a good offense is better than the best defense. Sometimes it's preemptive. Sometimes some strikes have to be preemptive. Somebody get up in your face, you better tag them first. And because if they inch it closer to 20, they like this. There's a high probability that their intention is to steal you. That's what they say. When Baltimore say sneak you, but in DC they say steal you. They get one in one. And some place they call it a sucker punch. They get closer. They talking to you, meanwhile, they get closer, so they can pop you. And get that first strike in. See, but when you can read that and you preempt that and hit them with the first strike, that's defense. That's not aggression. It's defense. Like Timothy Dingle lay about settling, in the rifle, true long range successor to the Prophet Noble Ali. One Friday, he was talking about defense. About people being provoked and getting in fights and everything, because the topic was a brother got killed near his neighborhood, and they was arguing and everything, and they was really shooting crap. They was arguing over, I guess, somebody probably either cheating or won all the money in the crap game, or well, anyway, it was around a crap game, and Noble Allah was saying to walk away. Then he said, anyway, if somebody come, he put his arm up like this, right? He said, if anybody come beyond this barrier right here, he said they in violation, and just walk away from them. And if they follow you, turn around and let the world fall on them. See, that's what he said. Walk all the way in that old Southern Carolina accent. Just walk on the way. Just walk on the way. And if they follow you, turn around and let the world fall on them. But anybody come between that right there, that's violation. They're in danger. You're not in danger, hopefully, but they're in danger. If anybody come past that barrier right there, you put your arm up, they then pass that barrier, they're in danger. Walk on away. But if they follow you, let the world fall. That's what you tell us. We got to understand that. But I want to talk, I want to talk about, in Ramadan. This is the 24th day of Ramadan, right? And I'm struggling with it, because I have some health issues, and I have to take this medication, right? Well, I was diagnosed with, I can take my diagnosis. It's my business, right? But my life is just so open, I just don't have anything to hide. I'm not doing anything wrong. And especially after I was entrusted, and when I realized that I'm the only one in the entire movie that talks about the 50 years prophecy of the Prophet Noble Ali, and I've connected with so many events that's going on in the more science telling of America that I knew I was chosen for a specific task or job to do, right? So I don't do anything wrong. I don't do anything wrong. You won't hear anything bad about me in my neighborhood. You hear a bunch of good things about me in my neighborhood. You know, you're not gonna hear nothing bad about me in my neighborhood. Okay, but what I really want to talk about? I want to talk about the direction of our nation, right? We have leaders, right, who scoff at the direction of our nation, the divinely instructed direction of our nation, the God guided direction of our nation, good orderly direction, God's ordered direction of our nation. Certain things in certain ways we have to certain things we have to do in certain ways we have to do them. We can't do things our own way. We got some leaders doing things their own way. They're doing things their own way. You know, they're doing things their own way. They might put it in another person's name, right? Couch it in another person's context, but they're just doing things halfway. You know, like Garveyism. Give a point. Garveyism. Garveyism is just one half of the process. You know, you have certain leaders who took Garveyism. You understand? Wrapped it in another mantle, and they're doing some things. And look how well they're doing. That's just half of it. When you're serious about doing something, they just it's one half of what the prophetic team that came and brought us had uh, if both processes were kept together, you can imagine where we'd be at today, right? This group, right? They're doing well, it's half. It's half of the message. It's half of the process. And look how well they're doing. See, socially, socially, economically, right? But politically and religiously, come on, keep it real. Spice sit up here trying to start nothing. See our brothers and sisters be, right? But religiously and politically, the fire and thought is not there. You know, you know, this was foundations are really shaky. In terms of what we're supposed to be doing politically, in terms of what we're supposed to be doing Islamically. You know, that's what the real power is. That's what the real power is. And right now, the record said these folks they have great power. They got great influence and everything. See the way they put together, the Mini Man March and everything, how they organize it. They have wonderful organizational skills, right? That's what the record, Revelation 18, tell you, he had great power and everything, got great influence and all that, right? But just imagine if uh, if it was right. I'm gonna have to say, I've been studying this a long time, man. I've studied this a long time. There is no discrepancy. There is no disruption in the flow of truth. Truth does not change nor pass away, ever. Right? You know, misconceptions do not come from misunderstanding, understanding, established understanding. Where there's understanding, there's no room for debate. You understand? Truth don't change or pass away. It has a basis in knowledge. You understand? If you can't trace yourself to that father in the kitab, something there's something wrong. Something in or somebody is wrong. You understand? And that's putting it mildly. That's putting it mildly. That's putting it politely. Because we deal with our brothers and sisters here. We and I'm telling y'all something. I'm talking real stuff. We're not going to descend, disintegrate. You understand me? Low rate ourselves into civil warfare. Like what's going on with the Sunnis and the Shias. It's not going to happen. Right? It's not going to happen because we know, and I know, we're better people than that. Right? We're the people. Jesus, I'm telling you something right now. The one son tell Mary about it, Christ in the Western Hemisphere. And what is even Mary used to say all the time: "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall force you to be free." The force of the better argument. See, the truth is the better argument. See, and the force of the better argument make righteous people do right. See, that's the whole hit, right? You hear that? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall force you to be free. That's the force of the better argument. That is the arguing beautifully dynamic that's mentioned in the Kitab and the Holy Quran. Right? We fighting and carrying on, because of what? Because somebody, want to be in charge and don't supposed to be in charge. You understand? God picks our leaders. This was at the basis of the resurrection. This is one of the intellectual power centers, right? I like to say the word like the Pope say, the word power. That's not a punk word, man. Power. It's not a weak word. Power. You understand? The intellectual power centers, right, of the resurrection has to do with legitimacy. He who has the right it is, and I shall give it to him. See? It's one of the things that Jesus was disputing with the doctors of the law about. It's a serious demonstration. The mission of Jesus and his dispute with the doctors of the law at 12 years old, one of the things they were disputing about, whether or not he was in fact a descendant of Malik Daoud, King David. Did he have traditional authority? You're talking to him. You're talking to him because you got three types of authority: charismatic, traditional, and rational legal. You understand? This is what, the overdraw Islam and the split in the Moorish Temple was really all about. The 8 temples that went off and started doing their own thing, stabbed their own Moorish Temple mark and everything, and voted in the moderator and everything. They ain't supposed to do that. And the 7 temples that went with Brother John Giver Zeal, that was the true foundation right there, because they broke away from him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, let us know where the true foundation was. Let us know who still, in fact, had and carried the true foundation when the 50 years prophecy was fulfilled by, Chief Supreme National Grand Sheikh, Brother Timothy Dingle Hill, Noble Drew Al-I. You understand? And he came through the lineage of Brother John Giver Zeal. A prophecy was fulfilled right through the lineage, you understand me, of pious master teacher, noble dryly reincarnated, the interim prophetic guide, right? It's a sign. These are ayat Allah. Allah Ta'ala let us know where the true foundation is, where the true lineage is of the movement. Because the holy ones, Allah set up this organization. Noble Drawley alayhi salam, he tell us over and over and over in the literature through the guidance. He doing things through the guidance of his Father God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tells us that throughout this literature. Y'all hard-headed. And y'all slowed us down. You slowed us down, and guess what? You distracted us and misguided us. Right? That's why you're not doing what we're supposed to be doing Islamic politically. You're not, I'm telling y'all something. I don't know all of this doctrine, but I know a significant portion of it to know what we're supposed to be doing from 1978 onward. Right? And certain leaders of other groups, you understand, they know too, but they know too. See, they know too. Maybe it may be a small percentage of them, but they know too. See. But if they can't publicly admit it, see, they can't publicly admit it. That's the reason why you don't do things publicly. You don't embarrass yourself. Nobody likes being embarrassed. And people got good sense. You're not going to embarrass yourself. If you will power and authority and everything, you have a certain position and everything, you're not going to jeopardize that, right? Makes sense. But that's how the truth is. That's how Allah is. Truth is from Allah. It's holy breath. You understand me? It's holy breath. And it's holy fire to those who are lying. You're supposed to be involved in the truth and you're lying. So what you playing with holy fire, you're going to get burned. All out in front of the prophet. That's a term the Moors have. All out in front of the prophet. Jumping out in front of the prophet. You got the prophet in front of the prophet, you're going to get burned. The prophet tell you, he said, children, listen to me. When the fire comes, I'll be the water. Therefore, get ye behind me. Don't be doing stuff that I didn't tell you what to do. Don't be doing things that you don't know what you're supposed to do. Don't be carrying out lessons that you don't know. That's what the prophets tell them all the time. Prophets, they get a little glimpse of what's going on and everything, and all of a sudden they're off to the races. Think they can handle it. Think they know what to do. They got it all. They've seen a few lights. Next thing you know, they all lit up. No. And prophet, you understand, no Drali Islam, Allah Ta'ala had prepared him. He know what's going on. He know when brothers not ready. But they, want to be seen, want self-glory, want to separate, but they want money and power. Want money, power, influence, and everything, want to be rich. Right? Send your children to private school, this, that, and third, right? Prestige and all that, But at the behest of what? The guidance of the nation. They're going to pay for that. You guys in trouble. Seen a couple of them getting bondside. Seen a couple of them getting bondside. Right. Wasn't pretty. Right. I didn't see nobody in Jehannam. The Holy One don't let nobody, don't show nobody in Jehannam. You got to be highly favored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for him to allow you to see people in Jehannam or in Jannah. And more likely you have to take you out your phone. But he does allow his servants to see things in Bonsack. Sometimes you go up in Bonsack, you don't have to die to go to Bonsack. Because here, he will summon you to Bonsack. I'm tell y'all something. I don't mean to sound like where y'all don't think I'm nuts, but I know he summoned me to Bonsack. Around the time my mom's death. My mom's death, I was in mourning. I was in mourning for about 5 years. 5, 6 years after my mom passed, so I was in mourning for about 5 or 6 years. I love my mother, my mama, mama girl, Queen Esther, Sweetie Boo, right? Uh, Holy One carried me up to Bonsack, seen her, right? Never forget it. And we have, you have angel guides up in Bonsack. Everybody has an angel guide up in Bonsack because it's a realm whereby you're being orientated and cleaned off, And when Lord Allah summoned me to Barzak, the inhabitants of Barzak couldn't say nothing to me because I wasn't, I wasn't in the grave, you know. But I was allowed to see some things in Barzak. I saw my mom in Barzak, right? I saw my mom and her angel guide in Barzak. Right? It's like a huge realm. It's like a huge hospital, endless, you know, far that I could see. All white, pretty, and clean, and everything. The floors look like marble to me. They probably made of something else, but look like you know really clean, polished hospital floors. You know what I mean? In Bozak, and the walls were white, and these the angel guys, like they saw something on my forehead that it wasn't right, and they put their backs against the wall. And every time the angels see something that's really not right, they put their backs against that wall. And I think that wall was what the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Well, anyway, it's a powerful vision. I'll never forget it. And it's a wonderful story to tell tell my children, my grandchildren. That's if I had grandchildren. I think I told you, brothers and sisters. I had 3 women, expecting one time, but all 3 of them, didn't carry the baby for one reason or another, and that bothers me. I really don't like going into that because I might start. There's some water might start flowing right. I don't want y'all to see that. Well, anyway, what I like to, what I really like to, I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? I'm just really so guarded in what I really want to express because I've been studying this doctrine for a long time. And what I'm really concerned about, what I've really been concentrating on, right, is the direction of the nation. The guidance of the nation. Because Alfred Prophet tells us, no Bradley tells us, he said, Alfred his son is every member should exercise their five. Let every member exercise their 5 senses. Because out from the Sunday school come the guiders of the nation. Right? That's a concept right there. The guiders of the nation and or the guidance of the nation, right? That's a concept right there. And I've been into that. And what we supposed to be doing? What we supposed to be doing? Where are we going? What is our direction? What is the direction and what is our direction? What we supposed to be doing, right? Now we have a name right then and there. Our name is part of the direction, and we have 3 groups. We have 3 other brothers and sisters, 3 other groups, right? So Subhanallah, who don't have names. They have marks. I mean, we have Two of our brothers and sisters, they have names, right? And we have another brother and sister. They have a stigmatical mark. Negro, black, colored, right? These are stigmatical marks that were put upon, enslaved, defeated, enslaved, our defeated, enslaved Muslim ancestors. For the most part, most of our ancestors was Muslims, right? A lot of people just keep denying that, but a lot of us are descendants of defeated Muslim soldiers and their families, you know. And we need to understand that and accept that. That's why we're not going to get right until we go back to Allah and His Messenger. Right? We're cursed and getting worse. You hear the music. And, I'm saying between some youngsters down here where I live at, and some music is even is worse than it was, a couple of years ago. They cussing and talking trash and, the colloquial terms for fellatio and cunnilingus and all that in the music, right? It's curse. Folks are cursed. That's why they curse so much, because they curse. People curse a lot, are cursed. That's why they curse, because they are cursed. What Jesus, Isa used to say, right? Jesus Christ, we know that Jesus Christ, Isa ibn Maryam, Isa son of Mary, alayhi wasallam. He said, man speaks and acts out of the abundance of the heart. Man speaks and acts out of the abundance of his heart. You cussing and talking trash in your music. You saying all kind of foul stuff, in your music, in your culture. Your culture is an expression of who you are and everything. And the people who allows them to do that, who had these studios and everything, who had these venues and outlets and, distributing this mess and everything, they're behind it. They're behind it. And then you have our wishy-washy leaders, saying allow it. I don't know why Al Sharpton and other leaders are not really making a big stink about it. Right? They should be in the boardrooms. They should go to the boardrooms where a lot of these decisions and stuff are made and tell the people, look, we don't want this mess. We don't want this mess in our homes. We don't want this mess in our children's ears, because that's what it is, audio pollution. And, we need to expose these people, right? Because that's what's going on. It's a spiritual warfare against us. These people are trying to mix our race today. They're trying to create a whole new breed of people by always these subliminal suggestions of race mixing that be in the advertisements, on TV and everything, especially in the three major networks. Look at the commercials and everything. Look at the commercials. These are what's called subliminal suggestions. They want you race mixing everything. They're trying to create, another buffer race and buffer class and everything. A lot of things that are being done just to keep them in power. And you check it out. Look at the ethnic makeup of the people who are behind it. See, follow the money, and decision making. See, that's where it is. That's who it is. See, and these folks saying people don't dig them because of their religion. No, it's what they're doing. See, people don't dig them because of their practices, right? Their business practices, their political practices, right? Their wiliness, their nefarious wiliness, right? Their nefarious business practices. That's why people don't dig them. See? They always talk about, how they're aggressive and how they're abusing everything, but they don't say why. Don't nobody like you for nothing. People don't dig you for no reason at all. There's something about you that they don't like. What is it about, this certain ethnic group that people don't like? Get into it. It's what they be doing. Why people don't dig them. You know, get into the programs. Get into the causes of the pogroms. Get into it. It'll blow your mind. Right? Get into it. I can tell you, get out, have people tell you stuff all the time. Get into them books, man. Cross them burning sands and respect your knowledge. That's why you'll have it. That's how you'll retain it better, right? You realize, the importance, the realization of its importance will be deeper. When you bust your hindparts getting it. We call it crossing the burning sands, right? Get into it. Get into Yuri Tabak, right? Yuri Tabak he writes a lot for the Catholic Church, right? And he specializes in the ninth century conflict between the Jews and the Catholics, in the Catholic Church. Been feeding with the Russians since the ninth century, man. Because the Orthodox Christians won't allow them to run their bank. You know, y'all have to get into it. I ain't telling you, y'all get into it. I mean, in your spare time, whatever. What's going on? This is what's going on. This is what's happening. This is a part of what's happening right now in Russia and Ukraine, right? And why you think they got a Jewish president over there, right? And this is not the Soviets anymore. They keep referring to the Soviets. The Russian Federation is not the Soviets. It's not Soviet. These are Christians, right? You got to watch that because you got a lot of these talking here, these disinformation agents out here trying to muddy the waters and everything by mentioning the Soviets and not mentioning uh, the Russian Orthodox Christian Church, the Eastern Orthodox Christian Church, or the Russian Orthodox Christian Church, right? But that's what it is. These are Unitarian Christians, man, right? For the most part, they're Unitarian Christians, right? Right? And a lot of them are in line, aligned, or allied with Muslims. Belief in one God. You know, powerful stuff going on, man. And these people, they're not gonna win. It's gonna be serious wars. It's gonna be some a huge amount of death and destruction. But in the end, the truth never wins. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the kitab that he is proud of the fact. He is proud of the fact that he never allows evil to triumph over righteousness. Allah said he's proud of that. But a lot of Christians again would say, you see, God said he proud. So proud is the sign of the fall, right? The first sign of the fall is pride. God is pride. It's God, that God is proud. He's proud that he won't allow evil to triumph. Right? It's not a hardiness, right? It's not a hardiness, that's a nobility. Right? That's a noble attribute, you understand? That you won't allow evil to triumph over righteousness. You won't allow yourself to be overtaken by evil. Right? That's a strength. That's a noble strength. See, but you got, our enemies are trying to turn things around, the Allah Ta'ala tells us in the Kitab, and Shaitan to try to make black look white and white look black. Right? He'll make the tail look like the head and the head look like the tail. Right? If you're not a man of law, if you're not, developing your critical analysis skills, your critical reading skills. These are powerful skills today in the modern media age, right? Media analysis skills, critical media analysis skills. Prophet Noble Islam was a media age prophet. The picture, he got pictures and photographs and everything. Look at that divine constitution and bylaws. See, you got Noble Drawley said he was the thought of God, but an angel's a thought of God manifested in the flesh. And properly, he's in front of his picture is on a divine constitution bylaws in the midst of 7 acts of laws, right? An angel in the midst of 7 acts of laws, right? This alludes to what's in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, an angel in the midst of the 7 candlesticks. Who is the angel in the midst of 7 candlesticks in Revelation chapter 1? The Christian scriptures, Revelation chapter 1. Look at Revelation chapter 1 and then look at divine constitution and bylaws. Who, you understand, is the prophet of God in this new era time now? Right? Tell y'all something, man. Learn more science, man. Learn this doctrine. Can't nobody beat you. Can't nobody beat you, man. Can't nothing, right, overtake the truth, especially if it's wrong. This poor kid from Cherry Hill boy turned to fur off somebody, turn to fur off of the best of them, the brightest of them, the best and the brightest of them. Go get them. Go get them. Any of them. Any citadel. Right? And watch this poor kid from Cherry Hill turn to fur off of them. In terms of understanding the direction, the path and direction of our nation. Go get them. If they don't come correct, they will wind up being wrecked. They will dash up against the rocky shore. Best believe that. Bisfisibillah. Alhamdulillah. Rabbi Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Subhanallah. Shukranallah. Yes, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for sending the Prophet Noble Drawley. You understand, this forerunner, the Marcus, Mosiah Garvey, and they comfort the, Timothy Dingle, Noble Drew Al-Islam, and the interim prophetic God, that pious master teacher, brother John Gibbons. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for putting the spirit of Prophet Noble Drawley back into brother, his pious master teacher, brother John Gibbons, his righteous and honest and diligent valet, right? Brother pious master teacher, brother John Gibbons, Noble Drew Ali, and reincarnated, Islam, the interim prophetic God. Allah so wonderful. You start studying that thing, man, you see how kind and wonderful God is, man. You see how kind and wonderful God is, man, when He raised up the reincarnation. When Allah knows our hearts and everything, man. When Prophet Noble Drawley left, man, his closest followers, man, they was angry, hurt, and upset, and lost, and prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance. So he sent reincarnated, sent the prophet back into his chauffeur. Right? Powerful demonstration. Y'all gotta get into it and start thinking and reading about it. So, and understanding the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his relationship with us when that reincarnation was created. It's a powerful demonstration. It's a wonderful demonstration. It gives you insight to how God really loves us. Man is never left, what? Without a beacon light to guide. Allah Ta'ala never leave us without light, without a guidance. You understand? Without a cloud by night and a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet. Drawley, Ameen, Alhamdulillah, Rabbi Alameen. You understand me? Through his holy prophet, Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ameen. Noble Ali alayhi salam came in and brought us. He brought us Islam. And you cannot have Islam without Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sunnah, right? That's what he came here to redeem us from slavery, redeem us from our some ways, and lead us back to Prophet Muhammad and the Sunnah. This is Islam. You cannot be a Muslim without the Sunnah. You know, the life works, the example of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this literature. See? Those of these leaders who don't know this, they're unchosen. Allah is not with them. You understand me? They're not out from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's Sunday school. See, that's why they're not exercising their five senses. See, you got a Sunday school that belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you have a Sunday school that belongs to Shaitan Rajim. You understand me? You know, the angel of misguidance, the angels of hatred, slander, theft, murders, looters, and everything else, right? Themselves, right? That's why the movement, you understand, and you know, haven't really progressed since 1928. You know, really since John Gibbon Zeal, Islam, Noble Ali reincarnated Islam, left. Because he was an entrepreneur. He was rich. He was doing swell up in Detroit. He was a successful Detroit businessman. He had all kinds of business up there. You got to start reading up on Brother John Gibbon Zeal, Islam. Highest master teacher. You know, he should always talk about the cover of the one-on-ones all the time. He was a master. He mastered that damn thing. You know, that pictogram on the one-on-ones. It's a serious pictogram. It's a serious didactic. It's a serious learning tool. You understand me? The image on the one-on-ones. The resurrection is nothing more than the one-on-ones. Extended, you know. Extended. Learnings that are extended. But this is the one-on-ones from 1978 onward. See. And you know, these symbols and stuff on here. You know, they're called pictograms, right? They're called pictograms, right? And you know, they're learning tools, right? They're learning tools, right? Well, that's too much light on. But anyway, you understand what I'm saying, right? These are learning tools, right? This is the east side cover of the book. This is the west side cover of the book, right? This is the east side cover. You know, most Qurans open this way. In the West, we say, well, that's backwards. It's really not backwards. This is the east side cover. This is the west side cover. Right? Look what's on the east side cover of the book, man. It's a serious demonstration right here. Amniorexis, right? Describes this right here. Amniorexis. Remember that word. You know, ask your gynecologist, right? What that word means. Amniorexis, right? Give you a hint right there on that word right there. What, you know, tell you what's going on. See, in 1978 onward, right? Amniorexis. Amniorexis. That means something's about to be born. Amniorexis, right? Amniorexis. Remember that word amniorexis? Then look at Revelation chapter 12 and Genesis chapter 16 and 17. Amniorexis. See who the main characters in these books and verses that I just mentioned in her relationship to this word amniorexis, right? And tell you that what is being born, you know, what is giving birth in the Moore Southern America 1978 onward, right? Serious demonstration, and don't no other leader talk about this process, right? The fulfillment of the 50 years prophecy, right? Because that's what this book is. This book is a fulfillment of the 50 years prophecy as mentioned in general laws as said by the prophet, right? Tuesday, October 17th. These are the general laws, right? The supreme laws will be handed to you later. You understand? There's a reason why that's the only article in the Moorish literature that's dated. I got into that. That's what piqued my interest. I look at See, this only. I said, well, that's the only article in here that's dated. When they compiled the Moorish literature and everything, it was under Allah's guidance, right? That Moorish literature is something else. It's too bad y'all, gloss over it. Don't pay it no mind. That Moorish literature is something else, man. That Moorish literature is something else. You understand that Moorish literature, man? You got more mundane, intellectual people listen to you. You understand? More people who are educated have a tendency to listen to you, in spite of the fact you may not be able to articulate what you're talking about. But you start talking about politics and sociology, the rules of discovery, right? In sociology, you talk about legitimate authority, the three universal forms of authority. People start, they know that you're not well educated and prestigiously matriculated, but you mentioned in concepts and everything, the venture into advanced sociology and advanced politics and everything, they kind of listen to you, but that comes from out of that Moorish literature, right? Comes from that Moorish literature. And page 10 of the Resurrection book, right, is about power, it's about the man's legitimate authority to rule his organization. These brothers ain't in charge of me. Talking to me ill stuff. The moderators have stagnated the organization for years. You understand? They in serious violation. A lot of them are in serious trouble too. The man is going to tear their hind parts up in the grave. I really don't know this, but based on Islamic doctrine and philosophy and everything, they got volumes, man, of something called the punishments of the grave. I was at Masjid Al Haq some years ago. I think it was 2006. Yeah, 2006. Because I tell you, I was homeless, and this wonderful imam was at Masjid Al Haq. Then Abdul Abdul Razak, brother from Jordan, Muslim. Okay, Sajidin, right? He was the imam at Masjid Al Haq, and he used to let guys who were in between homes and jobs stay in the mosque periodically overnight, sleep in the mosque, right? And so I came in one day, right? Have to look for work, and didn't find any work that day. No, I know I was working. I was driving for Italian gourmet pizzas, right? They don't want to supply us pizzas to the area of 7-Elevens. So the Italian, Sicilian group up out there in Timonium, a bunch of Catholics and everything. Well, that's another story with them. The jokers fired me, man, when they found out I was a Muslim. Well, anyway, I got off that night and went into the mosque, ready bed down for the night, get my, make my little prayers and everything, Isha and all that. And sometimes, make Qiyam prayers, if I'm up, a lot of brothers make Qiyam prayer, Well, it won't be too many, it would be about a good 10 of us, 10, maybe not more than 15 of us. We used to let sleep in the mosque periodically overnight, And I came in one day, and it was a bunch of older brothers, older Muslims, man. Gray hair everywhere, gray hair and henna everywhere. And they had these books out, man. It was volumes of them, man. A lot of them was open, some of them closed and everything, and all of them said the punishments of the grave, right? I said, this subject must be serious and broad, man. Bro said, yeah, it is, bro, it is. These are older Muslims too, right? So I picked up one, and man, I got to read it. I said, Some of the stuff there is extraordinary, man. Angels hitting you with balls or stuff in your back, and if animals near the grave, they hear it. That's why a lot of animals, they tell you, a lot of animals don't be around the graveyards. You ever seen dogs and animals and stuff in the graveyard? Animals, and they like bones, don't they? They ain't in that graveyard. And not because they buried too deep, but animals don't be around in graveyards. And I read this one of them said, angels be banging people in the mouth and stuff in the grave. How? And another angel, right? A lot of people, he's dreaded. I mean, he comes with this big hammer, a maul, and he be hitting people in the middle of their back with it, and it has such a loud sound. Good doom! And say, angels hear it, and animals hear it. Some animals hear it. Animals have keen hear it. And I've been reading that. I said, y'all believe this? I said, some of the stuff is really, you know, off the wall, man. I said, y'all believe this? And almost in unison, right? These old Muslims say, yeah, we believe it. The prophet said it. It's in the hadith. Yeah, we believe it. I said, okay. All right. I said, but there be some serious stuff in them volumes. Punishments of the grave, man. I mean, based on some of the visions and stuff I had, man, I'm inclined to believe it too. This is real. And and I hope and pray, man, the angels don't hurt me in the grave, man. You know, I got a good feeling. I'm gonna get a pass on a lot of stuff, man, because I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. Once I found out that I got a job to do, I'm not stepping off this rock no more. You know, all is real. This is real, y'all. I mean, all y'all out there is deviating, doing what you want to do because you want to be rich and powerful and everything because you want money, right? You want to be the leader. You want to be the prophet and all that. Got a brother here in West Baltimore calling himself a prophet. Don't know squat. Pardon my language. Don't know squat. You know, don't understand this literature. You know, and a lot of Muslims, especially a lot of farmers, they can't stand it. Can't stand it. A lot of people want to step to them, but God said, don't leave them alone. They mine. You know. And, prophets don't play the lottery. Prophets don't cheat people out of their wages if you work for them. Right. Well, anyway, that's what's going on. But that's what I want to talk about, right? I just want to talk about the direction of our organization because, the more I study Prophet Noble and everything, and I concentrate on the direction of our Islamic movement here in the Western Hemisphere, right? I mean, we're being slowed down. We're being slowed down. We're being slowed down and or misdirected, misguided, right? Because people doing what they want to do. And they're so proud and they think they're so strong and everything. They can't, do what we're supposed to do. You know, don't want to humble themselves, right? I'm not under any illusion whatsoever. I respect these people's power, man. I ain't scared of them. You know, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Ain't nobody going to abuse me and get away with it. Okay? But I still respect people's power. I still respect people's authority that they have established over me. Okay? The master must be wise, not only to feed the soul what it can digest, right? But to feed his own soul, right? To be able to digest some things, right? The master also has to be wise and harmless, right? As a Lamb of God. And he also has to be wise, right? And shrewd enough, right? As an Egyptian king cobra. And as deadly as one, if need be. See, I respect these people's power. Prophet Noble Drali, respect these people's power, right? Talking all this nonsense. If you got power, they throw all your papers away. Then stop paying taxes. Stop paying insurance, right? Stop paying your license fees and everything to the state and or the federal government. You all that. You know, you just don't fool nobody to understand this thing. And I have to say it because I'm instructed to say it. I'm guided to say this. This is my job. Everybody who's not obeying the Prophet Noble Drali, past and present, are misguiders of the nation. Which one of us can connect ourselves to Al Andalusia? That's real. That's concrete history. That's something we can see, can touch, wrap our hearts and minds around. The first civilization of the modern era was a Muslim civilization, and it was ushered in by African people. Him talking now. Which one of you can talk about that? Huh? This is real. Ain't nobody scared of it. I wear a hard hat. We wear a hard hat. We know that this is a hazardous, you know, it's a hazardous area. It's a dangerous area. Reform. It's a dangerous area. A dangerous domain. That's why we wear hard hats. Okay? Down here in the mine. It's dark down here in the mine. Got gases and stuff down here in the mine. That's why we need lights down here in the mine. We're talking now. All kind of combustible, you understand? Gases down here in the mine. Combustible powders down here in the mine. Combustible minerals down here in the mine. You've been talking to. Nobody's scared of you. Them the thing will Islam. Alhamdulillah, Rabbi Alameen. And thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing me to be taught by him briefly. I've been set up on him for about a year, maybe 13 months, and that was kind of choppy. But I learned so much, right? I learned how to think. I learned how to be myself. Because we were both Taurists, right? He taught us the understanding of the importance of our sign, because over top of his throne, his chair in the temple, the masjid, he had the zodiac, the 12 signs of the zodiac. When he sat in his chair or his throne in the temple, the masjid, the temple masjid. I like to call it masjid because I know more signs. I know what it is. Okay. Because more signs temple, that's our corporate name. Because ain't no temples in Islam. But it's the reason why Nabi of Islam called it more signs temple of America. Right. Jesus Christ, Islam was a Jewish prophet. Right. Okay. But when he sat when Timothy al Islam sat in his throne, and he had the zodiac, right, in plaque, in plastered a plaque, over top of his throne, sort of like how my picture is situated right here. It looked like one night I was looking at him one day, and I how you blur your eyes, focus, and I could swear that thing looked like a halo, man. Looked like like a white glow around him, when he sat in there. He sat in that chair one night, right? And just so many things about Timothy Dingle, no truth on, man. It blow your mind, man. Blow your mind. I told you that he knew how to talk back to my mother, right? He knew what's going on in my personal life, man. And he look at me sometimes, and I knew he knew something. I knew he was looking, seeing stuff that, some of the dirt I be doing. And sometimes he look at me, man, roll his eyes, right, and look down. I might have done some dirt. Come on, might have done some. Let's keep it real. Let's talk. We're family, right? I might have done some dirt and gone to the temple, that Friday or that Sunday and everything. He'll see it. He'll see it, man. I go there all polished and cleaned up and everything, smelling all good and everything, and trash can and dressed up trash can. He'll see it. You know, you see underneath all that fluff, all that polish. You understand? All that soap fragrance and everything. See right through it. You know, and you just instinctively know that he's looking at your life, looking at your past. He saw what you did, and what you're doing. They didn't do nothing really horrible, but fornicating and like something stuff like that. And that's supposed to be Muslim, worship American Muslim at that. Come on, let's talk. Let's keep it real. People in Islam ain't supposed to reveal your sins and stuff like that. Well, I'm not revealing my sins. We're being real. We're making things plain. We're making things understandable. You know, make people really see and understand what we're talking about. We're really communicating, right? Sharing experiences. And it's one of my ways of communicating with people I talk to. I want y'all to understand what I'm talking about. You understand? Because I'm from the lower strata of society. I'm not formally educated, right? Not prestigiously matriculated, right? And I have to make you guys understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes I might tell a story. Sometimes I might relate various examples and instances, right, to make you guys understand what I'm talking about. And what I want you guys to understand, what I want you brothers, sisters, your boys to understand right now is that we gotta stop deviating from what God wants us to do. Right? So, more science temple is more important than all that stuff out there. It's more important than all that. More important than all that. Yeah, man, being upright, independent, right? Shining information and all that, right? That's good. That's just half of it. You're not going to achieve liberation like that. You achieve personal liberation. You might have your affairs in order. You might have your bills paid and all that. And all, might have your health and everything because you eat right. Staying. You're dieting right, right. But where you going? Where's the nation going? You understand? Where's the nation going? You're doing well and everything, but the nation's going to hell in the handbasket on the arm of the children that we please to get our gene. That says something about leadership, right? Somebody's clicking and tricking the people, right? That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Where's the destination? Where is the ship? Who's guiding the ship? Who's at the helm of the ship? And or is there a flagship? See, there is a flagship. And that flag that's on that ship is not made up.